Alrighty, everyone, welcome back. It is Dreaded D, the infamous pirate captain protecting T-Fuel Island. Today we're going to be discussing some pineapple news as well as some Theta Drop info, maybe a couple other things as we go. Just remember, none of this is financial advice. Please do your own research. All of this is for entertainment purposes only. Alrighty, let's dive into this thing. So far, we have seen a couple days of good price action, kind of hovering above the $1,000 mark. We've had a few that have hovered below, but considering, most people spent $200 and spit out an NFT that potentially yielded them maybe $2,000, some of them even yielding 7 to 5 on the high end. And then we have this gem that has occurred the other evening, yielding $25,000 on the sale. And just remember, people can post whatever price they want. The metrics for what these things are going to be worth or what the price discovery is going to be is in what are people actually paying for them. I can throw up $1 million price on any of my pineapples right now, but it all depends on what people are willing to pay for them. And we're getting a good sense of what these things are going to be worth or what they could be worth. Now, there are going to be outliers. There are going to be people that are willing to spend more money than others. And I think with 888, we don't fully grasp the full picture yet. With the drop that's going to be occurring, $200 per, if that's the case, if that's what they're going to be costing this next round, I think, my opinion, they may bump it up to 5 or even higher. But, with all the people and this kind of expectation and the excitement, selling this one for $25,000, that brings a sense of, hey, I could have a golden goose off of a $200 or $500 investment. Obviously not financial advice, but low risk in the sense that you could potentially sell that for $1,000 even if it's not worth that much, or even higher. It all depends on how this all plays out, what gets announced, what comes along with everything. But so far, I think the traction's been good. Obviously, there's no full expectation of what's going to happen. This one's great, too, because this one seems to be a very, very rare one. It's like the V for Vendetta, Guy Fawkes mask, Anonymous mask. Very unique. I haven't seen this one yet in the marketplace as a replica. I've seen 2 Yodas. I haven't seen any Darth Vaders. I haven't seen, seen a couple pirates, with different varying hat colors. This is unique. I haven't seen this one yet, and therefore I think, it may be a rare subset of features and may be valued higher than others, and that's probably what this person is viewing it as. So we'll have to wait and see. But, for the most part, very unique one, and someone seems to think that this is worth the long-term investment within this subset. So as we dive deeper into the Pineapple Society and NFTs on Theta Drop, I think it's important to discuss the what's been occurring and what's happening within these marketplace spaces. So Theta Drop has been doing things and allowing withdrawals now with KYC. I think that's a very important step, especially with the new stringent reporting requirements coming from the infrastructure bill going into the future. I think in the infrastructure bill they realize that NFTs are ripe for fraud right now, and because the value of NFTs are subjective, a lot of people, and there is a lot of instances in which there are people selling and the person who's buying at these high price points is themselves, and they're basically washing money in a way by doing so, from funds coming from anonymous Ethereum accounts or accounts that appear out of the ether and not attached to a Coinbase account or attached to a bank account or a traceback point. Those things are big issues, and especially with the reporting requirements. If you have to know who the seller is, well, that's not going to fly going into the new era. And I think with the way that Theta Drop is being set up, you're going to create this interaction of where maybe you have users who they're basically verified. They're like blue check marked, like Twitter. You can trust them, as well as that a system is being built in which, okay, let's say someone buys an NFT from you. Okay, well, they haven't verified their account. Okay, well, they can't sell that NFT and they can't withdraw it. So everything still stays in-house. And hopefully, with Theta Drop, I hope that they come out with a way to, I guess you could say for tax purposes, pull that information as you need for the IRS to submit, as a way to remain in compliance. And by doing so, creates many advantages over the complications of things like OpenSea and not knowing who's on the other side of the table sometimes, as well as OpenSea, may expose some of the past poor behavior of some of these NFT providers. I think there's a lot of NFT hustlers out there that are really just taking advantage of people, and people don't understand because they're using a basket of Ethereum addresses, and I think it's very, very wrong. And I'm happy to see that Theta is trying to go about this in the way that it's professional and sets things up so that people can all act in a compliant way without having to worry about, hey, if I buy an NFT for $50,000 in 2023, am I going to be like, how am I going to report that if I don't have the ID of this person who's potentially out of the US or over, or hasn't verified themselves within their nation, or, so opens up a big door for Theta. I think they're going to be competing at a much faster pace within this, and I'm very excited to see the T-Drop token to come out. That'll be very, very cool to see. So to really understand the value of Theta Drop, we got to go back into the history of one of our founders, which is Mitch Liu's history over at Tapjoy. Now, Tapjoy offers solutions for mobile monetization for app developers, games, all sorts of things, and it provides solutions that include to like offer walls, rewarded videos, interstitial videos, and potentially Theta as a monetization leverage. You could potentially add that into Tapjoy Suite. Now, whether if Mitch wants to interact with his previous venture there, or if he wants to interact with a multitude of others, it's clear to see that between him and the founders, his other founders there, people like Ben Lewis, Lee Linden, and people who have experience working for Google and not just like small roles, as well as Facebook, and dealing with things regarding the Oculus, whether or not Mitch is still in contact. I have business people that I've fallen off from as I've gone through the years, but at the same time, it's great to see that those people are connected at the root level in these business functions, as well as the fact that these business functions are really all tied together in the form of monetization. Now, Theta Drop plays into this. That's another form of monetization on top of the bandwidth relay, edge compute. It's a way to change in-game rewards for all of these mobile applications as well as PC games as well too. There's so much that you can do with this. So basically, in the way that I've been explaining it to people, is that these are all the things Theta is creating are representations of ways to monetize your own business. And by doing so and showing them the revenues, showing them how much these NFTs are doing, it will bring and onboard companies to say, hey, this checks this box, this checks this box, it checks all my legal boxes, it checks everything that I need to pursue this. Now let's figure out how we can figure out a monetization strategy and implement this to help growth within our own ecosystem. That is key, and that's why I like the process that they're doing. Demonstrate that your product works on a small scale, and then use that as the driver going into the meetings. Really, really enjoy how they do that. All right, and unfortunately, that's all the time I have for this evening. I hope this video, even though it's short, provides you guys with some form of value. Look forward to hearing from you guys again for sure. Any comments, criticisms, always welcome. And looking forward to seeing you on T-Fuel Island. Very excited for the pineapple drop coming up on Friday. Good to see what the cost is going to be and how it affects price. Alrighty, everyone. Have a good night. Take care.